Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hello everyone, how are you today? I hope you in a good condition. So we are from Group 1, proudly present the video about our final discussion result as one of the assignment in the methods of teaching course. So the topic we choose here is about language teaching media. So are you curious about that? If you want to know more about language teaching media, just keep on watching.
In language learning, media are indispensable. Language teaching media refers to any tool, resource, or material used to facilitate language learning and teaching. This may include traditional materials such as handouts, books, newspapers, magazine, videotape or film, television, and radio, as well newer materials and methods such as computers, internet, and interactive video conferencing. In this case, the teacher can utilize a media as a support. Media as a tool for language learning and teaching have undoubtedly always facilitated the task of language learning for both instructed and non-instructed learners. Brinton 2001. Next, the advantages of using language teaching media according to Brinton 2001. First, provides a comfortable learning situation. Learning can take place very comfortably for each individual or group. Second, provide information. Third, help students process information. Fourth, free the teacher from excessive explanation. Fifth, provide contextualization. And the last is a solid point of departure for classroom activities. So, media help us to motivate students by bringing a slice of real life into the classroom and by presenting language in its more complete communicative context. Brinton 2001. So, basically, with the media, not only the teacher and students get the benefit, but teaching learning process can also get the benefit. But above all of that, use media to involve students more integrally in the learning process and to facilitate language learning by making it more authentic and meaningful process. So, this paper is purpose on identifying the types of language teaching media and their implementation in the teaching process. In other words, it aims to explore the different types of language teaching media that can be used to enhance the teaching and learning. This paper expects a contribution to development and improvement of using language teaching media in various schools, so that the media are not necessarily a tool but a supporter and help for education, especially for teachers and students.
Benson and Odoras say that anything that connect or bridge the gap between theory and practice is called media. A medium is a plural media is a channel of communication, derived from the Latin word meaning between. The term refers to anything that carries information between a source and receiver. According to Mizoibi, quoted by Erham Woni Asemota, instructional research media refers to all those materials, place, and person, otherwise known as information conveyors, which constitute an integral and vital component of a teaching-learning situation. The Enhanced Teaching and Learning of the English Language Association of Educational and Communication Technology, quoted by Arif S. Sadirman, defines media as all forms and channels used by people to convey message or information. Yudi Munadi says that media comes from the Latin medius, which means middle, introduction, and intermediary, while teaching media can be understood as anything that can convey and distribute message from source in a planned manner to create a conducive learning environment where the recipient can carry out the learning process efficiently and effectively. Anggraini says that media is an intermediary tool for message conveyed by teacher in the form of knowledge and information to their students, and students become aware and can learn from the message conveyed. In that sense, learning media can be understood as anything useful convey and distribute message from source in a planned manner to create conducive learning environments. The teacher usually uses learning media as a tool, refers to any tool, resource, or material to facilitate and support language learning and teaching.
Visual media in learning is everything that can be seen by eyes and brought into the classroom as visual teaching media to support the learning process run well, such as pictures, diagrams, maps, and charts. These media can help students to better understand complex concepts as well as engage them in the learning process. The visual media aim to introduce, form, enrich, and clarify comprehension for abstract concepts to the students. It also can develop desired behavior and support students' more continuous activity. Based on the research conducted in an elementary school, the implementation of visual media makes students more easily capture and understand learning by using visual media because students can see the material and it is more easily recorded in the student's brain. According to the teacher there, visual media is very much needed in learning because elementary school students still cannot imagine an object without media aids included in learning. Aids are needed for elementary school students, especially students who are still in grades 1 to 3, cannot think yet extensively. Students' responses in the use of visual media are also more enthusiastic and active in learning in class. An example of the use of visual media is like in mathematics, the teacher brings a scale tool, and in social science lessons, the teacher uses maps as a visual medium.
Audio media are the kind of media that can only be heard and are generally used for listening comprehension. Audio media in the teaching and learning process is usually used to improve creativity and stimulate thinking and responsiveness. Audio media can provide source material such as a conversation for the student to analyze to or react to. It can solve the students through a task such as an experiment when it would be destructive to keep consulting written notes. The use of audio media can affect what, when, and how students learn. Students who are motivated to learn will show enthusiasm for learning activities, as well as give full attention to what is instructed by teacher, and have a give commitment to achieving learning goals. Implementation using audio media is considered effective because it attracts students' attention, eliminates student boredom in learning, increases student activeness on or involvement in learning activities, and increases student motivation.
Alright, according to Yudianto, video is an electronic medium that is able to combine audio and visual technology together to produce a dynamic and attractive display. While Anderson defined video media as a series of electronic images combined by audio sound elements put into the video game. So we can conclude that video media is a combination of audio and visual media. Video media can be packaged as VCDs and DVDs to make them portable, simple to use, able to reach a large audience, and interesting to broadcast. Video media has 4 functions that can be used to support learning. They are attention function, cognitive function, affective function, and compensatory function. So, attention function, namely video media can attract attention and direct audience concentration on video material. The affective function, namely the video media is able to arouse emotion and attitude of the audience. Cognitive function can accelerate the achievement of learning goals to understand and remember message or information contained in image or symbols. And the last is the compensatory function is to provide context to an audience whose abilities are weak in organizing and recalling the information that has been obtained. Alright, so based on the study of Andiani, Ardiana, and Firman, we can conclude that the implementation of video media is used to present material that students will find interesting because it has both visual and media.
Now, the last types of language teaching media is activity teaching media, which can be also referred to as interactive teaching media, as they involve active participation and engagement from students. This activity can range from games and puzzles to role plays and simulations. By using certain activity teaching media, students are able to engage with the language in more partial and experiential way, which can help them to better understand and retain the material. Grading 2018. Some examples of activity teaching media includes language games like Scrabble and Hangman, as well as role-playing exercises where students act out conversation or scenarios in target language. In EFL classroom, activity learning media can be used to foster different language skills such as listening, speaking, reading, and of course, writing. The implementation of activity learning media in EFL teaching very depends on students' learning style. For instance, students who are more kinesthetic learners may benefit more from activities that involve movement such as role-playing or simulation activities. For example, role-playing activities can be used to practice speaking and listening skill in realistic and contextual way. Now, based on those explanations, the types of language teaching media that is implemented is really important thing to consider depending on the classroom, the material, the student's condition, and the teacher's skill itself. Implementing not well considered teaching media can lead to ineffectiveness in learning.
So the conclusion is learning media can be understood as anything that can convey and distribute message from sources in a planned manner so as to create a conclusive learning environment. The teacher usually uses learning media, it is as a tool, refers to any tool, research or materials to facilitate and support language learning and teaching. Media that support the teaching process are classified into 7 types that are graphic media, display media, 3-dimensional media, projected media, audio media, video media, and activity media. In Indonesia, the implementation of the use of language teaching media has been tested in several educational institutions. From the observation, the researchers found that the use of media in Indonesia is still lacking. This is due to the lack of language teaching media facilities, lack of teacher attention and creativity towards teaching. Media also makes students feel bored when receiving lessons. In using various kinds of media, it should be seen in advance for its usefulness, which the process that will occur benefits accrued from media used in teaching and learning include made learning interesting and interactive, promoted peer learning, insert understanding of abstract concepts, and increase retention rate in the